Morning drive at Mira Business FM, and we're going to talk adventure tourism now, which is a topic we don't really consider very much, and maybe not as much as we should. But before we meet our next guest, this morning's guest, here's the backstory. Now, a few weeks ago, a dramatic rescue on a mountain trail in Ras Al Khaimah in the Northern Emirates caught the attention of the nation in the UAE. Now, a hiker collapsed from severe exhaustion, and one guy thought, I'm not going to wait for the helicopters. He just picked him up and carried him back down, essentially across what was some pretty treacherous terrain. And it was an act of grit that catapulted adventure guide Faisi Shalmani into the national spotlight. He's a seasoned explorer, been doing this for, I believe, 15 years, and he's built one of the region's most resilient ecotourism operations, I should say. He's the founder of AFT Adventures, and he's here. Faisal, known as Faisi, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you with us. First things first, I've got to ask you, how is the hiker doing?
She's doing well. She has recovered.
All okay?
She's perfectly fine now.
Severe exhaustion whilst hiking a fairly treacherous piece of terrain. What was it when you're there? What is it that kicks in with you? Is it just because you took the initiative immediately, thought, no, I'm not going to wait. I'm just getting on with this.
Correct. So over the years, I've seen quite a lot of casualties and rescues taking place in the UAE. Right. I've been part of volunteering rescue team as well. Uh-huh. So knowing that the situation was getting worse, I had to do everything possible to save a life.
Yeah, and it just kicks in. It's just like military-grade survival instinct or
Correct.
something. Yeah. Look, I've got lots to talk to you about this morning. Safety and travel demand and regional tensions. I want to ask you, just back from Azerbaijan as well, I want to ask you about that. I'm curious, first of all, though, about what you did has become kind of viral. It's kind of legendary here in the UAE. I think for a lot of people, it made headlines. Has that changed the way people are hiking, the way they view safety? Do you think?
A little bit, yes. A lot of people are reaching out, and even under the posts that are going viral, people are talking about what time of the day to hike, talking about safety, what to carry. So yes, it definitely has changed people's idea of hiking in the UAE and in this kind of weather.
Okay, so tell me about was this the Stairway to Heaven trail?
That's correct.
Right, so this is, for anybody that doesn't know, this is a trail, there are a number of ways to hike it, I guess,
Correct.
But it's around about 20 kilometers, is that right?
Correct. So there are two parts of Stairway to Heaven. Yeah. One is known as the left bank, or sometimes people call it full loop.
Right.
And then there's the right bank, which is basically you go up from the right side of it and then come down the same way. Okay. So there's no loop. The left bank, it's permanently closed because when you go up, you're actually crossing into Oman's territory.
Right.
So because of being very close to the border and sometimes even into the other country, some parts of the trail,
okay,
it's no longer legal to hike that. So right bank of Stairway to Heaven, that's where this incident happened.
And this is a reasonably advanced hiking trail, isn't it? You need to be experienced really to do this.
Correct. So back in the days when I was used to hike these trails like 15 years ago or 16 years ago, there was much less infrastructure there. So there was not enough stairs that have been cemented and much more stable. A few years ago, there has been development, so people thought that now it has become much more easier to do, although they do not consider the elevation gain, the height that you have to cover, that you have to cover to reach the top. So that aspect of it, it still remains the same.
Yeah, you think this is just a hike out in the wilderness and it's all going to be fine, but it goes up, 1,800 meters or something?
It starts from around 150 meters above sea level, and it goes up to 1,450 meters. So you're covering around 1,300 meters of elevation gain.
Right. Okay. And I know that there have been some safety measures taken in the last few years. There are some rails that have been put in, that kind of thing. Yeah,
exactly. That has been there. So that kind of a little bit gives novice hikers a little bit of perception that this is well developed, there are huts, and it's not remote, but it is absolutely like the last end of the UAE, so it's very, very remote place.
Yeah, and it's in the Hajj Mountains, isn't it? And it is a long way from anywhere. And I guess when it starts to get hotter, it becomes even riskier as well.
That's very true, very true. In the UAE, the thing that every hiker must be aware of, it's about heat and hydration. So these two things make any hike, whether it is an easy one or a difficult one, these two aspects you must need to pay attention to.
Okay, so that's the backdrop to this whole kind of situation. Was there a point when you found the hiker, and this is a person who had, I guess, collapsed, was there a point where it really was, I mean, clearly it was critical, right? Yeah. You just looked at the situation and thought, I'm going to have to take this into my own hands. There's no waiting here.
Correct. Yeah. So there were two things. Once I came to know about the story or the history of the incident, like how many times she has already collapsed. So it has been going on since about 9 a.m. because this hiking group, they have started somewhere past midnight. And she was hiking for quite a long time, and she has been dehydrated. And then once the sun came out, she was exposed to the sun, and she collapsed a couple of times before when I reached. So when I reached and saw that she is, number one, she was unconscious. Number two, she was having seizures and no control of her speech, no control of her body movement.
Right.
So I checked her body temperature, and I saw that, she stopped sweating. So going through several outdoor rescue and wilderness first aid trainings, I know that once your body has stopped sweating and your body temperature is not coming down, that means after the seizures, the only thing might happen is you might have a heat stroke. Cardiac arrest. So that would have changed the whole thing. We did not have the defib, which is a machine to restart your heart and so on. So that was a very critical situation. Bringing her body temperature down was the top priority at that point. And that's what I did. I changed her. I asked the female members to change her trousers into spare shorts that I always carry in my backpack. So they changed it into that. And then I used the same bandana that I'm wearing now to make it wet with the colder water, and then sprayed over her. And if you have seen those videos, like I'm shaking this bandana, kind of making a spray of water over her to bring her body temperature down. So that's what I did.
Okay. So what did the experience teach you about emergency? Being prepared in emergencies. What did it bring home to you?
For me, it's teamwork. Always, it's a teamwork. Although it has been shown that I was the only person who was doing the rescue, but my team was constantly supporting me along the way. They were keeping me hydrated. They were pouring water on her head, collecting water from the mountains. There are two places where I knew that there is water available in the mountains, because the hike was supposed to finish at a certain time, and we ended up stretching it for over 3 to 4 extra hours. So we were also running out of resources. So we had to collect water. So everything combined, team was helping me. Plus my own hikers were handed over to my other guide. I was communicating with them, keeping them safe. So it was all a teamwork. Plus the preparation. You need to be prepared for such situations, staying calm, recognizing these things early. Everything was highlighted, not just to me, to the hikers that were in my team and to the hikers that were in the other team where the casualty happened.
You said something there that you asked the female members of the hiking party, if you like, to and gave them shorts that you carry that are spare to help bring the temperature down, the ladies' temperature down. Yeah. It's the little things like that, isn't it, that you're prepared to do, that you've got to keep in mind, that I wouldn't have necessarily thought of.
Absolutely. So very small things like carrying a duct tape in your backpack. Yeah. Some hikers, they are hiking and their shorts or trousers, they get ripped or their shoes break. So any small thing can prolong the duration of the hike. Yeah. And the longer you stay on the trail, the more resources you need. And the one resource that you run out of first is water. So very small things, they turn a hike into kind of a rescue or a challenge just by not having a small piece of care.
And it can happen just like that in a split second.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I suppose, we all think, we've got these devices, these mobile phones, and there's a torch on there. I'm a hiker now, but it's a bit more than that.
Exactly. And many times I tell even about the phone and the torch as well, that if you are scrambling, if you have to use your hand somewhere, you won't be holding phone light in your hand, and so have a headlamp.
Yeah, okay.
Keeps your hands free.
Yeah, I'm with you. So do you think operators generally, there are a number of companies that offer, outdoor adventures, hiking, things like that. Do you think there's more pressure now to improve safety standards, more awareness at least? Has this helped in that regard?
I think the travelers and hikers, they are demanding that now.
Right.
Because they are a little more aware of the consequences. So that naturally brings the operators to be more prepared. And I think yes, there is a little bit of, I wouldn't say pressure, but they do require, from the government side also, now Fujairah is doing amazing things. They are creating kind of an environment where every mountain guide needs to be trained, prepared, licensed, insured, certified, all of that. And then right now they are only allowing licensed guides to take people into the mountains.
Okay. It's interesting. There's been such a boom in ecotourism and hiking and, all this kind of outdoor adventure stuff that people want to do. And I think there isn't a great deal of awareness of just how many parks there are, national parks, places, amazing places that you can go to. So this is a business for you, Faisal, of course. How have you felt the impact of regional tensions on bookings or maybe on traveller confidence? I know to an extent it's a little bit different for you, but how's it been in the last couple of months?
So people that travel from outside, they have been a little bit more cautious and they have changed their plans a little. That has made the impact. But internal tourism and demand internally, that is still as it was, or even I would say more. Because I
was going to say, is it stronger?
Yeah, it's stronger because people are
here.
Exactly. They are no longer traveling outside as much. They are still, but not as much. So there is more demand. More people are asking about outdoor activities, outdoor experiences.
Yeah. So adventure tourism is kind of probably holding up fairly well at the moment. Is that a reasonable?
That's correct. Same happened during the COVID, and same is happening now. The tourism within the country and from nearby countries, it's still on and it's booming actually.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. What do you call the people that come and adventure with you? Are they clients? Are they travelers? I don't know what the word is.
So they are hikers.
Just
and
hikers,
and we say clients if it's
What are they most concerned about before they book?
Safety, for sure.
Yep.
And if the hike or the trail is most suitable for them. So the type of question we get is, I'm a first timer, what would you recommend? Or I want to do Stairway to Heaven, but I've never hiked. Yeah. So these kind of things people do ask, and I'm very glad that more and more people are asking that, not showing up unprepared. And that also has to do with the licensed guides and tourism companies who are putting kind of a questionnaire beforehand to the clients that you want to do this, but do you have this with you, and the experience and the gear that is required? If yes, then you fall into this category. If not, then we would recommend to start from something like Hatta. You go and do Hatta Wadi Hub kind of trail, or you go to Fujairah where there are nice wadis with flowing water. Instead of climbing up high, you just do a little bit of scenic adventure.
Stairway to Heaven is a fairly serious hike. You got to be quite experienced to do that. It's such a great name for a trail as well, by the way. I do like that. Do you look? I don't want to harp on about the rescue incident, but it's a very impressive thing that you did. It's obviously the right thing to do. But did the incident lead to more? And I don't mean this cynically, but has it led to more interested in guided hiking tours? Has it meant that for you as well?
Correct. We got a lot of feedback from people on Instagram, on different social media platforms, that companies, corporates, they are reaching out to us, and they are also asking, we wanted always to do this, but now that we know that it's a licensed, insured company, we would like to do. So there is more interest, more questions coming from the clients.
Okay. Just a reminder, if you're listening on the go, or if you're watching online, you can find Mira Business FM on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and this conversation will upload to YouTube, and it will be podcast as well. Faisal, the UAE's kind of mountain tourism boom, the adventure hiking boom, it's bigger than ever now. Lots of weekend warriors heading out to, I suppose, Jebel Jais or Wadi Shauka or places like that. But your rescue, I think, highlighted a blind spot that a lot of people underestimate the mountains. I think that's very clear.
Yep.
You're a professional guide. From your perspective, what's the line between a fun trek and potentially something a lot more serious, perhaps even life-threatening?
So in UAE, the infrastructure is really good. You can take your car all the way up to the top of Jebel Jais.
Right.
So and that is good, but at the same time, when people drive, or somebody who's a novice or who's a tourist who has come into the country, they drive and they park their car and they start hiking without preparation, without doing their homework. The infrastructure enables that possibility, but it also puts you in danger if you haven't done the homework. So preparation for any hike, even for a shorter hike, it's not like let's go hiking. This morning you decide, and the same morning you end up into the mountains and you start hiking. The preparation in UAE for hiking starts well before, even days before you go out hiking. I always say to my hikers, pre-hydrate. So the day before you start hydrating, so you don't show up dehydrated to start with. So that's the line. Do not take any hike kind of easy if you haven't planned it well before.
I mean, you've said a couple of things a number of times. Clearly, they're very important. Hydration is the number one thing.
Absolutely.
And that should go without saying. Clearly, it needs to be said. But the other thing is preparation. You've said that a couple of times as well. But it's not just preparation, i.e., I'm going to talk to Faisal, he knows his stuff. Yeah. You should be, doing your own preparation, whether that's reading a little bit about a particular hike, Stairway to Heaven, whatever it is, and understanding terrain, maybe talking to people that hike. It's not just, I'm going to book a tour and my guide will tell me everything. There's more.
Exactly. There is much more. So I would say knowing a couple of things about the hike, which I can underline.
Yes.
Number one, how much distance you are going to be covering. So if you're going 10 kilometer, 20 kilometer, are you able to walk under the exposed sun or in the exposed weather? Will you be able to do that? Now, top it up with the elevation gain, how high you will be going. So walking 20 kilometer on a flat surface is along Jumeirah Beach might be possible. But if you add in 1,000 meters of elevation gain, will you be able to do? Because if you calculate, 3 meters is about one flight of stairs.
Yep.
So 300 meter is about 100 flights of stairs.
That's game changing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to calculate, you have to think about, will I be able to do, and on top of it, carrying a heavy load of backpack.
Sure, in the heat. If
it's a 4-hour hike and the temperatures are close to 30 degrees Celsius, you should be carrying 4 liters of water. So 4 liter is 4 kilos of pack on your back.
Yeah.
So would you be able to do that? So all these small things, you need to do homework and you need to understand. And then the second important thing is, if you are going with friends, who is the lead among the friends? Or is it just that we will figure it out on the go? So you need to do your homework. It's your life. It's your safety. So don't rely on a friend of mine knows where he's taking me. You need to be doing your homework. And then even if it is a friend or a family member, you still need to have your own gear, your own amount of water, your own homework, plus leaving some information of where you will be starting, what time you will be starting your hike, and what time you will be finishing the hike. Leaving this information with a family member who knows what they will have to do if you don't call them back at the agreed time.
Yeah.
So that is very, very important. I go high altitude mountain, I train people, I do expeditions across the world, but I still do the same thing. I leave information of the start, finish, time, and the location to somebody who will come after me or who will inform the authorities if I go missing.
So this should be routine. It's routine for you.
Exactly.
Standard way that you do it.
Exactly.
And it should be, these are the things that we need to think about. So fail to plan, plan to fail, and all those old adages, I know. When I was a kid, I did, for a few years running, I did a walk in Holland, right? And it's called the Vierdags, which is, it's 4 days, that's what it means. And you walk like a 4-leaf clover, like a loop, and you come back to the same town. There's a town called Nijmegen. And you can do 30 kilometers a day, 40 kilometers a day, or 50. So I did 40 twice, and then I did the 50. It's about 10 hours walking.
Right.
And they told us that Holland was flat. Holland is famed for being flat. But around Nijmegen, it's not flat. So I can testify to when you're going uphill walking, it's a whole different game.
It's a different game.
Yeah, it really is. What mistakes do hikers make in the heat? I mean, obviously hydration is a thing, but I was listening to you there and I'm thinking, hat. Make sure you got a great hat, you got great shoes. Well, what do people get wrong?
So 2 things. Number 1, wearing the wrong colors and wrong clothing.
So lighter colors to reflect
exactly
heat.
Exactly.
Right.
If you show up with wearing all black, it's going to absorb the heat. It's going to just kind of turn.
Not a great look for me hiking now.
Not to go hiking, but in the office with the AC, yes, it's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one thing. Wear light color clothing and not the clothing that is sticking to your body or that is not allowing any ventilation.
So cotton fabrics, lighter fabrics, what's the best?
I would say more than cotton, because cotton kind of gives you rash. If it gets wet, it gets heavier and it gives you a rash.
Okay.
So there is a lot of technology now. You have the quick dry sports material. Those kind of clothing, light color, cover your head. Also trousers. I've seen a lot of hikers wearing kind of yoga pants. They are sticking to your body. They are good within a facility that doesn't have those kind of temperatures. So wear loosely fitted clothing. Second thing they do is also expose their skin.
Right.
So I would say the best protection against the sun is not the chemicals that you rub on your body, it's the clothing that you can wear. You can cover up instead of exposing and then having to put on sunscreen all over your body.
I mean, lots of clothing is UV tested, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And then on top of that, if you do not know what time to start, if you have started a hike, let's say 5 a.m. in this kind of weather, before the sunrise, you should be starting, and within the first 2 hours after the sunrise, you should be finishing your hike.
Right.
You should not be under the exposed sun. Then the direction of the sun at the location where you're hiking, that's also very important. I haven't seen even the guides paying attention to this, that if you are hiking in the morning, the sun is coming from the east, you should be hiking on the west side of the mountain where the shadow is there, where the sun is not going to rise up until probably 10 a.m.
Right.
So it's the opposite when it is in the afternoon. So you should be hiking on the east side where more sun is going to be. The mountain will be providing you shade. So these are a couple of things that hikers don't pay attention, but we guide, we need to calculate everything when we are choosing a trail.
Okay. Well, it makes sense. I mean, there's so much to consider. And I guess it's not always high temperatures that are the problem as well. I mean, I think we often forget that in winter here, in the Hajar Mountains, there is often snow, it is often cold, and that's the other side, isn't it?
Exactly. So I've been lucky enough to hike in snow in the UAE in 2017 and 2020. Both times, the mountain completely changes and it looks like some other parts of the world. So yes, you're right. There is other side of the temperatures and the weather also. Hypothermia, which is the condition when you are exposed to the cold temperature, it doesn't happen in negative temperatures. It does happen between the single digits positive temperatures. So maybe 5, 6, 7 degrees Celsius, you can get hypothermia. So you need to be prepared if you are hiking within, let's say, November to February months, you need to be prepared against the cold as well. The higher you are, the cooler it is. About 150 meters above sea level, each 150 meter above sea level, 1 degree Celsius temperature drops. So imagine if you are at 1,500 meters on Jebel Jais, you are expecting, the temperature to be about 10 degrees cooler than what it is at sea level. So in winter, we get temperature on sea level somewhere around 11, 12, 13 degrees Celsius. So up there, it's going to be in single digit. You need to be prepared for that as well.
Yeah, from a clothing perspective and mentally prepared
as well,
for that change as well, because we're so used to, things being hot all the time.
And then there is wind, there is also rain, there are flash floods. So all sort of things that can happen in the mountains, you need to be prepared for. And when we check weather forecast, most of the time we see that, how is the temperature in Ras Al Khaimah or in Fujairah? But the mountains, they have their own weather pattern. You cannot predict that. Many times we go in the mountain and the weather app says no rain, but you end up having rain. So you need to be aware of the surroundings. You shouldn't be in a canyon when you see any clouds around. So all these things.
That's huge. Do you think the industry needs to shift towards mandatory certified guides for these high-risk trails? I mean, there's lots of social media hiking groups. It's like, hi, we're going to go and do this weekend. Is that something that we should be watching?
So in a few years back, Ras Al Khaimah came up with this requirement that every guided hike must be led by a certified guide, and they started to certify guides and train guides. I was thankfully the first person to get certified in Ras Al Khaimah, but that slowed down. For some reason, it slowed down. There is not enough check and balance at the moment. But again, it's a developing industry. UAE, if we compare to other parts of the world, it's a very new kind of industry in the UAE, mountain adventure tourism.
Yeah.
In the Alps, in the Andes, in other Himalayas, it has been there for centuries.
Sure.
But here, it kind of picked up right after COVID. So for that reason, it's still developing. And now Fujairah government is doing amazing job. They are coming up with these regulations, which we want more and more to see, so that we don't want hikers to just be limited to guided group hikes. That's also not something we want. We want people to have freedom to go and explore by themselves as well. Because if I'm putting up an event on a Friday or a Saturday, it might not align with someone's availability.
Sure.
So they might want to go maybe on a Monday. So my suggestion, even in the government gatherings, was that we can come up with something of a one-day course for every individual. Just like if you go scuba diving, you just don't borrow a oxygen cylinder and you don't just dive in. You need to do a PADI course to do that.
Sure.
So similar, you can do. It's not the same kind of environment, but still it puts a lot of risk if you are not aware of things. So maybe a one-day course where you get to know about flora and fauna, the terrain features, what rock is good to hike on, all the safety aspects, plus you can do a half day of first aid training, a wilderness first aid training. What to carry in terms of when you are hiking by yourself or with your friends. So if everybody has that kind of one-day certification, they get a card or they get some sort of permission to go and explore by themselves as well.
That makes sense. I'll take you back there. What should you carry if you are going to go out hiking with your friends?
So if you go online on social media or on Google or ChatGPT, most of the time it comes up with the lists that are meant for other parts of the world.
Yeah.
But in UAE, number one thing is water. You must be carrying. Even if I don't see anyone carrying a hiking backpack, they need to somehow carry that amount of water with them. That's the most important thing.
And you said earlier, 4-hour hike, 4 liters.
Exactly. If the temperatures are between 30 and 35 degrees Celsius,
Right.
I would say 1 hour of hike requires 1 liter of water.
Right.
And if we are talking about winter, then you can do half a liter per hour of hike. So if it is 4-hour hike, 2 hours of hot water is more than enough.
Okay.
And that's also important, that it's not just hydration. You might end up having a cut or a scrape from a rock or from a plant. You might have to wash that. You might have to just pour it on your head to cool yourself down. So it's not just hydration, but many other things that you can use the water for. Then, as I said, the clothing, that includes a hat, then a headlamp. People think that everything will go as planned. Many times it doesn't happen. So you might end up having to hike during the dark. So you need to have a headlamp that, and then navigation. So if you are not 100% sure about the trail, then what are the modes of navigation you will be using? Do not only rely on mobile apps. There is Wikiloc or Gaia or Maps.me. There are many applications, but your phone can die. Your phone can break even. Like if it falls out of your pocket and the screen is broken, you won't be able to see the map that you are relying on. So you need to either know 100% of the trail by heart, and also have the map on your phone. Or if these two things are not there, then you should be with a certified guide who knows the trail instead of just wandering by yourself.
Yeah, I think the skill of navigating by where the position of the sun or navigating with a compass, those are not skills that we possess. anymore?
Unfortunately, not anymore. We do organize some trainings where we train people to do that as well. But in the UAE, we do not have those sort of maps publicly available where you can just look at topographic terrain and then you can figure out your way through it. Those are not publicly available. But in other parts of the world, you have maps where everything is written and mentioned. So you can train using a compass, using like the natural navigation mods, and then you can be safe using that.
Can I ask you a little bit more about your back to your business, really, Faisal? The broader sort of macro picture hasn't been what we'd hoped for 2026. Geopolitical tensions, shipping tensions, etc. For a business like yours, you rely on cross-border travel, you rely on open skies. How did you insulate your operations? How do you keep consumer confidence high when news headlines are volatile? Because there's so much in your business that you have to think about this, you've got to think about this, you've got to think about this, you've got to be prepared for this. Plus, you have this other spectre looming over you of, the situation in the region.
So I always say that mountains are home. Nature connection is important, whether there are political tensions going on or any uncertainty is going on. You still need to connect with nature. So that is the focus which we emphasize even more during something of a sort that is happening now.
Yeah.
So we say connect with nature. It calms you down and you come back to kind of basics. You do not require a luxury all the time. You can divert your attention toward connection with nature and how much beauty you have out there. It calms people down. We have seen, we have experienced. I'm a big advocate of being outdoors instead of being in the malls. So that's the kind of side where I focus on, and people tend to enjoy and understand also.
You're in the right job, obviously. You're just back from Azerbaijan.
Correct.
Right. So you were leading a tour through some pretty rugged terrain in Azerbaijan. We're now seeing travelers in the UAE move from the luxury stuff to kind of high-intensity active travel. What is it about the things that you do, the things that you offer, the vacations, the holidays that you offer, compared to the lying on the beach holidays that we all used to love? What's been the change?
So since the COVID time, there has been a shift in people wanted to have not just a trip, but an experience.
Right.
Where people want to connect with locals, want to see how things happen in the remote villages, want to see the wildlife and the flora and fauna of different places. It's not only about like, I want to go and lie on a beach or be in a 5-star hotel and so on. So it's more about these small things that create an experience and also leave kind of memories that will stay with you forever. So that's where active tourism or active adventure tourism comes in. That's what we do. We take people to nearby countries where things are not as developed yet, out in the wild. Like you go into the city and Baku in Azerbaijan, it looks like a mini Dubai. But the moment you leave, within 2 hours of drive, you will end up in a place that is completely untouched. And the number of flowers that you're going to see, it's uncountable. The kind of people that you're going to meet and the kind of food that you're going to eat, their lifestyle, you will be... I was there last year backpacking. And this year, I took a team of hikers with me. When I was backpacking, I camped at a location and I was woken up by cows trying to chew on my tent. And they're So these kind of experiences, they stay with you forever, and that's what people want more and more.
Do you think you're seeing travelers choosing more active vacation stuff, I don't know, mountain escapes over, the city breaks? Are we starting to see that?
Yes, it has been shifting quite a lot. If we just look at within the country, that tells us what people would do when they go outside also. Now, within the country also, you see more shift. People want to go out. I haven't seen these many numbers of hikers in the mountains before the COVID time. I have seen there were merely about 2 or 3 licensed companies that were there, or 4 or 5 total groups that were there that were used to take people to the mountains, but now we have in hundreds. So all that shift means people want to connect with nature and get an escape from what we call the concrete jungle. They want to go and touch some grass.
It is more and more you're seeing people get away from the usual stuff that
Absolutely.
you do. Here in the UAE, we live in a big city. It has everything. It's great, but there are times when you think, I don't want that.
If everything is aligned, if everything is like scheduled, people don't want to do that. More and more people are wanting to do things that are not part of a schedule, not part of a daily routine. They want to go away from that routine, and we're loving this, that people are experiencing what we have been trying to put out for several years.
What's next for you? What's the outlook for adventure tourism here in the UAE? What are you going to be doing next? What are you going to be adding, do you think?
So during the summertime, we have Jabal Jais, where there is higher altitude, we can say, cooler temperature. Then we have the wadis in Fujairah, which have water and streams. We do that. We do night hikes. We do early morning hikes. So that's the local part of it. And then we have the neighboring countries like Saudi Arabia and Oman, where there are mountains up to 3,000 meters above sea level, and the temperatures are much cooler. Then you have the Kharif season coming in Salalah, where we go for the monsoon. It's 45 degrees at the sea level, but you enter Salalah and the temperature is 20 degrees or early 20 degrees Celsius. It's completely different world. So these are some things that we do in summer, and then on top of it, we do international expeditions. And UAE being in a perfect location where you can travel within 2 to 3 hours into the highest mountains in the world. You can go to Nepal, you can go to Pakistan, you can go on the other side, you can go to Georgia and Azerbaijan and Kyrgyzstan. So all these mountains are, many of these mountains are unexplored. So you have got, in summer, if you want to escape, these are the things we offer, and also you can plan by yourself.
It's been good to talk to you today, Faisal. The world needs a few more people like you in it, I think. Faisi Shalmani is the founder of AFT Adventures. Thanks for your bravery and for your insights in the studio today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And
Appreciate you.
It's a pleasure to put out the message that you need to be prepared. You need to take mountains a little bit more seriously. And that's how you stay safe and you just enjoy the mountains. You don't just survive mountains.
It's been good having you here. Don't forget, you can find short clips of our interviews like this one and the full-length video on YouTube, but the short clips on Instagram. So make sure to check those out. This is Mira Business FM.